Revor plug. My goodness. These days, made by Gawith and Hogarth. We're going to take a look at it. It is a plug, and it is wonderful. Let's get into it. Hello there. Gather round, gather round. I'll tell you a tale of a tobacco gone right. Smoking my Peterson 606. This is a 2018 Christmas pipe. They do kind of the copper, nice heavy sandblast on it. Beautiful pipe. They just kind of showed up earlier this year. They had some old stock they'd found, and this particular one, I watched it for a while, and somebody finally bought the other one. There were two of them originally on smoking pipes, and this was the one I really liked the looks of the blast on. So after weeks and weeks of looking at it, wondering if somebody else was going to hurry up and take my temptation away, I'd reached a point where I just decided I better grab it or I would be just wishing I had. So I did. Rainy day here, northwest Alabama, as you can probably hear. Got the door open and rain falling. One of my new favorite tobaccos, without a doubt. I may be saying that a lot over the next few weeks, but this one is seriously special. So, Revor plug. Now produced by Gawith and Hogarth in Kendal, England. Originally a Scottish tobacco. Produced by, I believe it was SCWS. It's like Scottish Cooperative Wholesale Society or something like that. It was just sold through their stores. Eventually it went to CWS, which was just like Cooperative Wholesale. And at some point it was moved to Manchester. And then at some point it was moved to Manchester Tobacco. Manchester Tobacco was acquired by, I can't remember if it's Japan or Japanese Tobacco. Somewhere in the 2000s, they got out of the tobacco game in the UK. Just like a lot of people, that just kind of dissipated almost overnight. A lot of people were getting out of tobacco, I guess, because of the increased regulation and just financial issues related to it. Everybody was bailing out of that. That's probably around where Dunhill realized they wanted out of the tobacco game completely. I don't know, all that was before I was smoking a pipe, so at any rate, it was a bad time apparently, so they were getting out of that. But before that actually happened, they had moved production of this particular tobacco to, thankfully, Gawith and Hogarth, so it landed on their doorstep. And now, I can't tell you again, how this may have changed or been, how tobaccos are every time they move or somebody else blends them. There's always somebody, it's not the same, and then there's five guys going, it's exactly the same, I don't know why they sound like Grandpa Simpson, they just do. It's death! That's the cat grandpa. Oh, you know. Oh. Go figure. But perhaps its saving grace is that it landed at Galleth and Hogarth. I received this from Brother V at 13 Pipes, and I hate to throw around terms like game changer, but whew, you ever have something so good that now the scale that you rate everything else is changed because it's on there? This is one of those tobaccos, in my opinion. It's at least primarily Virginia and Kentucky, dark fired Kentucky. You'll see Burley listed, and you never know. You know, there are some blends I think we'd be surprised to find out there's a little tiny, 1 to 3% small continental use of some kind of, white Burley or something in there, just to adjust things a little. So it's possible, but I think a lot of times in the European tobaccos, they'll list Burley because Kentucky's in there, and Kentucky is made basically from Burley. But here in the States, we consider them like they're two different things, which I think just looking at the listings, some of the European tobaccos, if it has Kentucky, they like to list tobacco types. They'll include Burley instead of Kentucky. But in the description, they'll mention that it's, dark fired or Kentucky. So just something I've noticed. It doesn't mean that there's necessarily Burley in it. It may just mean that there's, likely it means that there's dark fired Kentucky in it, which is made from Burley. So I think most of us probably know that, but if you don't, there you go. I didn't give this much tray time at all this morning because I didn't want to wait, and it's raining and humid, and it's northwest Alabama, which thankfully it's nice and cool because it's overcast and rainy, and but I don't think it's going to dry out very quickly in this, given today's humidity. So I'm just torching it. It's kind of like it's you saw the picture in the beginning here, I'm sure. It's a dense plug. It's a little less dense than 3Ps. It's a little easier to deal with than that, but it's nearly that dense. It's not a rock or piece of vermica or hardened leather, like 3Ps and some of those are. You can actually cut it with mere human hands and all that. So it's a little easier to deal with, but it is very dense. The flavor is very dense. Definitely has a kiss of the good old Lakeland essence in there. A fairly light kiss, light to maybe moderate, but I'm going to say light. But what's surprising is how perfectly it works, not only with the Virginias, which we already know about that, but how well it works with the Kentucky in this, the dark fired. If you don't give it some tray time, you're basically it's kind of like the twists or 3Ps. You may have a few relights depending on how you prep it. I have it pretty well rubbed out. But still some chunks though. It burns nice and slow either way. You're not going to get rid of all the chunks no matter what you do. So it's still going to have a nice slow burn. It's just, you can expect some relights here and there. Just roll with it. Prep time is not bad at all as plugs go because it's pretty easy to deal with. I just cut through some 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch slices off it, top to bottom on the bar, and kind of cross grain, and I just throw those in the bowl and rub them out as best I can. No great effort. I love the way the Lakeland works with both of the main components of this. And because it's a plug, they are so perfectly married that it's almost like you have these Virginias and you have them perfectly braced and interwoven with the Lakeland essence to these. There's a wonderful underlying sweetness. There's a nice dark smokiness, a nice umph from the Kentucky, but it's not overwhelmed by it. You can still get both of those. And there are certain little nuances in there. Again, a little bit of an understated sweetness, contrasting kind of a deep, darker, smokier flavor contour. The Virginias are really beautiful in this, as you would expect. And it's a nice, mellow, like I've got some 2015 McBaron HH Bold Kentucky. And this is even mellower than that is. I mean, it's got that nice, meaty, strength to it, but there's no harshness to it. There's no edginess to it. It's just, it's perfect. And it's even smoother in this. There's times where I get a little sense of a tanginess, some understated spiciness, much like the brown twist flake, or brown twist, I don't know where I got flake from. But it kind of has that underlying little bit of a natural spiciness, not like a Perique kind of thing. And there again, there's some little tones of like a dark fruit that are not a top note, and they're not Perique or anything like that. They're just these natural occurring tones from how the Virginia is aged and how it's interwoven with the kind of little bit of a briny kind of darkness of the Kentucky leaf. And it's just amazing how well these things play around with each other and how uniformly they are together in this. I guess because of being aged in a plug. Pressed and aged. I'm sure they're aged a bit. And a lot of their tobaccos are pre-aged that they blend from, so. Just wonderful. It reminds me of 3Ps, but it's so much more nuanced, and I hate to just put it this way, but it's so much better than that it's like apples and oranges. It really is, other than they're both plugs. I think if you like 3Ps, you'll like this. I think if you like the twists, you'll find some stuff you like about this. If you like any of the blends with Kentucky in them, you'll like this. If you don't like Lakelands, I'd still say if you get a chance to try this, try it, because you might have your mind changed for you. It's not super heavy in the Lakeland. It's definitely present, but it's so good in this. It's so good that I can't imagine why anyone would not want it in there. And there's really just the right blend of underlying sweetness and nuance and strength, and there's just there's a dense flavor profile from this, and that it's just, there's so much going on, and it's so uniform that it's not that you're getting hints of this or pops of this and pops of that. It's so uniform that you're actually getting all of it all the time, and your palate's just kind of recognizing different edges of it as you smoke it. That's the best way I can describe the experience. Wonderful. If you have a chance to get some of this, Big barter steal, big barter trade steal, whatever you got to do. This is just some next level tobacco. I don't know why I don't hear about this more, because this is just phenomenal. The only way to make this better is to have it with a really great coffee. Or I was also gifted from Brother V from 13 Pipes some Lapsang Seshung. I think I said that right. But it's like a Chinese black tea that's been lightly smoked over pine embers. That with a little bit of honey, whew, it goes so well with this. It's a freaking spiritual experience. Literally. It's just so good that it just kind of calms and quiets you. It's just one of those that I could forget the camera's running and sit here for 20 minutes and go, oh crap, you know? Mm. The retrohale is just, it's really a key component with this, because there's so much going on. It's not a question of what you're getting, it's a question of how much you're capable of taking in at a given time. It's just, there's that much great flavor to it. I think I'm gonna have to put this above the twists. And that's saying something, because I like my twists, but this is just some next level stuff here. The way everything's just perfectly balanced and drawn together in it, it's just phenomenal. There's really no other way to put it. This is one of those, I think they would probably say something like for the experienced smoker, but I think most of your strong, heavy, bold tobaccos are going to be like that. But much like the twists, this is in that category probably, but there's no harshness to be had anywhere in it. There's no bite to it. If you have a palate capable of taking in all that this is putting out, man, buckle up. Buckle up and enjoy the ride, my friends. This is slap your mama good, to put it in Southern terms. Now, that's just a saying. It's not a call to action nor a recommendation. I wouldn't slap mama, because if your mama's like my mama, she'd probably whoop you, and then you got daddy to deal with. I think the saying stems from, it's so good I'd slap my mama to get some more kind of thing. I think it stems from that, more or less. But, you know, I'm sure mama is a perfectly lovely woman and refrain from such behavior. But it is that good. They're like, Mama, I'll give you $20 to tell somebody I slapped you so I can get some more of this. Just don't tell daddy. It's a weird colloquialism. There's a lot of those. Good gravy. Well, I mean, I guess there is bad gravy, but I'm a fat guy. All gravy is good. It's like you could take the worst cake and it's still cake. sit back, drink my coffee, listen to some rainfall, and smoke the bottom half of this beautiful Peterson 606 2018 Christmas. Let you have some eye candy again. I blame this one on 13 Pipes, incidentally, because I watched his 606. He smokes that thing so much that I just started thinking, you know, I don't have a pot that I smoke. I have one that's like an old festival French briar, and it's a beautiful piece of briar, but I don't really like the draw on that pipe, and I really need to do some mud work on it. So I've never really been big on smoking it much, and I don't really have anything else. And I thought, you know, I like 320s and beefy pipes. It's kind of odd I don't have a pot shape. And I just kept watching them enjoy tobaccos in that 606. And at the time, I started buying some Peterson just straight billiards and a couple of other straight billiards. And I picked up a Canadian, and I just kind of went through a straight pipe thing. So it caught the tail end of that wave, and I had been watching this one. And I just decided, you know what, I'm going to get this one and call it good on straight pipes for a while and stop buying pipes. And I think this was the last pipe I bought, not counting like a corn cob. You know, we don't count those because, you know, they're tobacco money. They're not pipe money. But yeah, great pipe, great pipe. I haven't smoked this one as much as it deserves, largely because I've been breaking in a couple other straight pipes. Got a 107 Dunhill Rocky and 106 Irish made Army mount. And I kind of enjoyed the Army mount, so that was kind of like a twofer. I wanted another Army mount, and I wanted a pot shape. So when I saw those together and some old new stock 2018 Christmas pipes that had a really cool copper plated nickel, you know, band on the mount, I was just like, man, there's too many cool things going on in one pipe. I like the little reddish, kind of deep ox blood type finish. It's just nice. It's a nice pipe all the way around. And the blast on this particular one was just head and shoulders above the other. I couldn't believe the other one sold first, but I was happy to get this one. So that's what I'm enjoying this morning. There's some wonderful tobacco. Brother V, I can't say thanks enough, man. This is some wonderful, wonderful stuff. I'm gonna get back to it. You all have a wonderful and blessed day. John Boy, the U.S. Piper, out.